No. No. All right, we'll be in touch. If I don't see you between now and then, I'll be going down to Coffs on about the 5th or 6th, but I'll just go for the day.
All right.
Because I'll have too much else to do as well.
Yeah.
With that other thing and whatnot. So.
No worries at all.
I haven't worn these warmer weather gloves for a while. Oh, really? Oi. So good morning YouTube. Sunday morning in Missabotti and we're heading home. It's a beautiful day on a Sunday in spring and it's a beautiful place here in the hinterland behind Maxwell and Nambucca heads. In them there hills. Now we've had a few dramas with the old girl, probably caused by this road. With all the flood damage and stuff. When I got to Mark's the other day, we noticed that the bracket, which looks like a frame rail that holds the mufflers on, had broken from all these roads. And that was okay. First of all, when I saw it, I thought, well, good grief, I've broken the frame. But it's just a piece that looks like the frame that bolts onto the frame. So essentially a bracket. And for that, that was fixable, you know. There wasn't such a drama, but that wasn't the worst of it. We also discovered upon closer inspection that the left-hand shock absorber, this is a softail, remember, so they're underneath the bike and run horizontally. The front bolt holding that left-hand shock absorber had broken, and so the left-hand shock had come adrift, which is a bit of a nightmare. And of course, half the bolt was still in the thread. Lovely ride through here. pull all that apart, of course. Went up to Coffs Harbour, and I'd like to say a shout out to North Coast V Twins. There's the Harley and Ducati shop. They actually had 4 bolts, the correct Harley Davidson 4 bolts, to replace them all, because it looked like the ones that were in it weren't right. They were like, I'd say the shocks are cheap Chinese shocks, and so are the bolts, and they weren't high tensile, and they were chrome. You know, chrome and stuff on the underside of a bike seems a bit pointless, but you know, that's the way it was. And anyway, it took quite a while. It took all day yesterday basically to get that piece of bolt out, you know, with a lot of work, and had to do a lot of fiddling around, and Mark was really good with that. You know, we sort of had to make an extended drill bit to try and get it through there past the frame rail and stuff. So we did all that and eventually had a win, you know. So we got the bike back together, and test rode it very briefly earlier on this morning. And now I'm on my way home through this beautiful countryside. And you know, realistically, these softail shocks are pretty much fryer tucked. You know, there's not much dampening going on, and they sort of top out as well as bottom out. So, you know, I don't know whether it's always been a fairly rough ride, so they might have been pretty crap all the time, you know. Anyway, I'm starting to get a bit sort of, you know, nervous about riding this thing anywhere, or forever sort of not making it home. I mean, look, oh, buddy, somebody else there. It's a girl, actually. I can tell she's a girl. She had lumps in her shirt. Anyway, you know, I came down on Tuesday, and was supposed to be going home on Friday, and now it's Sunday. As it turned out, Mark had to stay in the hospital for a night longer than they thought, so I was already going to be staying longer anyway, and you know, it all worked out great. I mean, you know, he's a great friend of mine, and I was able to help him out, and he helped me out at the same time to get me home again, or to get me on the road again. And I'm hoping the old girl will get me home today. Come on, old girl. Good morning, Uncle Tim. It's a lovely day for a ride on the old girl, and hopefully you're looking down, you'll help me get home, not have too much of a laugh. Hopefully, anyway, we fixed the problem. That left-hand shock had a big dent in the shock body itself, where it's hit something. It's, you know, it didn't seem to actually damage the shock itself. I just think they don't work very well. There's big holes like this, you know. Just got to keep your eye out and ride very circumspectedly. There's a car behind me now, but he's not going to worry about bumps and potholes because he's in a four-wheel drive. I'll let him pass when I get the opportunity. I can do it here actually. So anyway, you know, this is a fucking pretty convoluted story at this point. You know, I suspect that that it's hit one of these holes real hard, and by the time we go back and watch the earlier videos that I took on the way in here the other day, etc., we might find, you know, that I'll find which one it was. But I suspect that literally just went whack and broke that shock and broke that bolt. Which is pretty disturbing in its way. But it didn't look like, you know, as I said, I mean, it's just one of those, hopefully just one of those one-off weird things that happen to me. But she seems to be running along and okay this morning. I'll stop it on the way home a few times and check things out, make sure I've nipped everything up properly, all that kind of stuff, with the mufflers and headers and whatnot. It's only 10:30. Nah, we'll do it another day. I hope that it's not an issue that's caused by having the sidecar on there. I hope it's just a one-off thing, you know, and then it's part of the learning experience of this bike, you know. That's what I hope. But today, you know, not that we ride hard to begin with, but we'll Barraville race course. I came through here yesterday on the way into town to get some easy outs from the hardware store. They had a race meeting on there, with people everywhere, and all frocked up too. All the girls were frocked up, looking great. I don't know how often that happens, the race meeting, not the frocking up. Actually, last night Marky and I went into Maxwell for dinner at one of the pubs, and all the girls were frocked up there as well. Like Saturday night, the young girls are out and the skirts are short these days again, and we're two old men who shouldn't look, so we did. Anyway, as I may have mentioned before, it's a beautiful morning. It's about 26, 27 degrees here yesterday. You know, Gyre was about 15 apparently, and cold and windy, so it made it feel even cold, you know, the old feels like reading. So, and it's nice again today, it's nice and warm. But I've still got my long underwear on because I've got to go back up the hill to home. And Kerry was talking about having to have the fire going. I was saying the other day that I change up and down more frequently than you would with the solo bike, and here I am, the labour up the hill like a twit. Down, Flunky, and keep an eye out for them there potholes. Some if I can go halfway to China. The Nambucca River through there. It really is a lovely spot here. It gets quite warm in summer, but not horrendously hot. Not like when we were down at Western where it got to 46, 47 degrees. Here it gets, you know, high 30, 38, 39. But, and it can be quite humid. But it's not really extreme. and go. Right, we'll just stop here very quickly and check things over, also check my phone messages. Now I'm back in the land of the living and all that, with reception. Didn't realise that was going there. Das ist doch, so ist das.